Bolt-action snipers are often the go-to weapon for quickscopers and montage makers. They're often very high risk due to the inherently low fire rates, but you have a much higher reward due to the one-shot kill potential. But what have been the best of the best? Well, today we're going to answer that question. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos. Today we're doing an update of the 10 best bolt-action snipers in Call of Duty history. And no, I am not a die-hard sniper, but I've been playing Call of Duty for a long time. And I'm hoping my list will be more or less the same as the sniping communities, but I'm sure you guys will let me know where I was wrong, where I was right down in the comments. Let me know which of these bolt-action snipers was your favorite go-to. Drop a like on the video, make sure you're subscribed, and at number 10, the L96A1 in Black Ops. Kind of hurts to put this one so low on the list, but at the end of the day, I'm going to take my nostalgia goggles off, at least a little bit. The L96A1 was the only bolt-action sniper in the original Black Ops, and it had some pretty clunky handling traits, if you ask me, but that was paid off with some insane damage. It was virtually always a one-shot kill. Sniping in the original Black Ops, it was difficult, because Treyarch made it difficult. They intentionally designed the sniping mechanics to hurt quickscopers because they didn't want that kind of playstyle in their game. But the sniping community, well, they persevered. They made the L96 a fan favorite. With all that being said, the potential of the L96 simply wasn't as high as other rifles that we're going to talk about. That is why it's at number 10. Granted, this is still number 10 out of all of Call of Duty. That's a pretty honorable title to hold if you ask me, because the damage, it was up there. People made some pretty awesome videos with this. The firing sound, animations, all of it top notch. So even if the handling held it back from being such a monster as other snipers, I had to get it on the list. I squeezed it in. At number 9, the LW3 Tundra in Black Ops Cold War. Treyarch changes snipers many times throughout the life cycle of Cold War, but the LW3 Tundra, it remained consistent. I mean, honestly, throughout the whole thing, and if you boot up the game right now, I think it's pretty clear it's the best all-around bolt-action sniper in the game. By default, it was a bit on the slower side, but has a very, very, very consistent one-shot kill, and once you start leveling it up and putting attachments on it, that is where it starts to shine. Plus, having a magazine for your ammo instead of having to reload the bullets individually like the other starting bolt actions in Black Ops Cold War, that was a huge advantage. Kept you from getting caught with your pants down in between fights. In a game with a longer time to kill, the LW3 Tundra was an extremely powerful sniper. If you were willing to get good and get good at that ADS timing and grind up some attachments, it would pay off. At number 8, the TAC Aggressor in Modern Warfare Remastered. MWR's had some pretty sweet classic gun remakes added as DLC, if you ask me, and one of them was the TAC. I mean, this Aggressor was exactly that. It was a remake of the classic Modern Warfare 2 Intervention. It fit into COD 4 perfectly. This bolt-action sniper featured a pretty fast fire rate, and it had a relatively small one-shot kill range. It meant you had to aim high, you had to stay consistent in order to use it effectively, and the new firing sound that Raven Software came up with for the gun, I actually really liked it. It was just different enough from the classic Intervention to be unique, but it had that same energy, had that same aura about it. I've said my piece on the Modern Warfare Remastered DLC gun debacle many times, but the TAC Aggressor was awesome. I'm happily giving it the number 8 spot on the list today. Might be a surprising pick, but if I can keep you on your toes a little bit with these lists, then I'm probably doing something right. At number 7, the USR and COD Ghosts. I've heard many, many people say they hated Call of Duty Ghosts but loved the sniping mechanics. I think I get it. I see. It's actually easy to see why. I mean, Infinity Ward made the sniping in the game super smooth, and the USR is on full display in just that. Bolt-action sniper, meant to be the aggressive choice of the quickscopers, and definitely caught on with the community right out of the gate. Fast fire rate, super quick handling speeds, and a one-shot kill range that required you to get good at aiming above the waist. But it didn't punish you too hard for taking your time with your shots the way some lightweight sniper rifles actually do. In a game like Ghost, you needed a sniper rifle that could be good up close in aggressive manners and situations, but was also super good at holding angles in power positions since the game pace was so slow, and the USR was amazing at both of those things. It's definitely a top 10 bolt-action sniper in COD history. At number 6, the Kar 98K in COD World War II. Now the Kar has been in a ton of Call of Duty games. In fact, I think it's one of the most reoccurring guns in franchise history. But if I'm tasked with picking the best version, I think it's pretty easily the version that was in Call of Duty World War II that many people actually called overpowered for the longest time. And even after Sledgehammer nerfed it, it was still pretty easily the best sniper in the game because of that versatility. The Kar 98K in this game was meant to be that lightweight quick scoping machine, and it was. It's also a super generous one-shot kill range rifle that made it fantastic for traditional long-range sniping on top of that mobility. Basically, it was a World War II version of the USR from Ghosts, and that kind of versatility made it a force to be reckoned with. Sledgehammer nerfed the mobility a couple times, but even after those patches, it still remained a top-tier sniper. I still remember the insane clips that people were getting with this in war mode during the first few months of COD World War II's life cycle. Now we arrive at the top 5. These are the best of the best. The Locust and Black Ops 3. It's kind of wild to me that this gun turned into such a fan favorite over the years, because when Black Ops 3 came out, the sniping community was in an uproar about the mechanics. Treyarch had removed aim assist on the snipers in the game in order to make sniping more difficult. They like to do that, and they wanted to make it more skill-based, but to compensate for that, they also made the starting bolt-action sniper one of the most ridiculous guns in COD history if you knew how to use it. The Locust had a 10-round mag by default. It had a pretty fast fire rate. It had a super fast aim down sight animation, and it had a one-shot kill range that was probably a bit bigger than it should have been, given how great all the handling attributes were we just talked about. It was extremely hard to use due to the lack of aim assist, but if you got good with movement and you got good with aiming, it was one of the most absurd snipers ever put in a Call of Duty game. A skilled Locust user could take full advantage of that giant magazine and the high fire rate and get kill after kill after kill without ever reloading. And I mean, I watched the Black Ops 3 sniping montages. This thing was dumb. At number 4, the MSR in Modern Warfare 3 2011. Now, the MSR probably has one of the most thunderous clap sound effects of any sniper in Call of Duty history, and I think a lot of you old school players watching this video probably have a similar attachment to the gun as you do the Modern Warfare 2 intervention. Bolt-action sniper featured a sleek and shiny yellow paint job, very, very quick fire rate, and the ADS speed was relatively quick by default, but it was extremely quick if you had the quick draw perk on. One-shot kill range, pretty generous, almost never giving you a hit marker instead of an insta-kill when you get down to it. There really wasn't any reason to use another sniper in the game. I guess some people had a soft spot for the L118A, I get it, but honestly, the MSR, I mean, it cleared it in every possible way. Super slick, super smooth, insanely strong. The dome and hard hat sniper montages on YouTube with this gun, they're a joy to watch. I mean, is it better than the classic intervention? Judging by where I ranked it, you probably guessed my answer, but let's move on. At number 3, the M40A3 in Call of Duty 4. The bolt-action sniper is arguably the gun that invented quickscoping as we know it today. Yes, quickscoping existed in Call of Duty 2, but it wasn't seen as a viable strategy until the M40A3 came along and showed us the power that it could be, especially if you slapped on an ACOG scope with a secret damage boost in that game. I mean, this thing had some of the smoothest handling of any Call of Duty sniper ever made, to this day. And even though the hitboxes were a little janky in COD 4, the sniper stands the test of time, as evidenced by the Modern Warfare Remastered version being just as nutty as the original. And if you want to talk about versatility, it had you covered. It was amazing at slow-paced, traditional sniping, but it was also just as good as in the aggressive situations, in your face sniping, and that made it the perfect choice for a game like COD 4. All the maps were either really big or super close range. It's a piece of COD history, and COD sniping simply would not be what it is today without this gun. I mean, if the M40 never came along and showed us how awesome quickscoping could be as a playstyle, then later COD games never would have leaned into it and made it even better. It was a domino effect. Quickscoping was a happy little accident. It started with the M40A3. At number 2, the Ballista in Black Ops 2. Now, Black Ops 2 had arguably the best sniping in the entire Call of Duty franchise. Super smooth handling with all the rifles. It's possibly a little too good, but that's okay, because this is the game that gave us the Ballista. An insane bolt-action sniper that had become a fan favorite over the years, and for good reason. When Black Ops 2 first came out, the DSR-50 was the obvious choice, the best sniper in the game, but after the infamous nerf, people started experimenting and gravitating to the Ballista, and we quickly realized it was nuts. Not only did it have an amazing aim down sight animation that was super fast and extremely accurate, but it also had a 7-round default magazine and much, much quicker of a fire rate than the DSR. Made it a much better candidate for aggressive playstyles as well as traditional. It was versatile as a sniper rifle. It felt perfect, it was smooth, it was deadly, but it still required a bit of skill to use correctly, because if you aimed low, you were not going to be rewarded. If you aimed high and you stayed on target and nailed all your fundamentals, this thing was your best friend. It made you look like a pro. I mean, an iconic sniper that was only surpassed by one other even more iconic sniper you already know. I'll give you 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. At number 1, the best bolt-action sniper in COD history, the intervention in Modern Warfare 2 2009. You knew it was going to be number 1 before I even started talking. You saw the title of the video, and you knew this was going to be at the very top. classic sniper rifle, not only in Call of Duty, but in first-person shooters and multiplayer games as a whole. This was the one and only bolt-action sniper in the original Modern Warfare 2, but it made such a massive impact on the FPS genre as a whole that it spawned an entire legion of imitators, and to this day, new FPS sniper rifles are often compared to the Modern Warfare 2 intervention. Everything about the rifle was perfect. Smooth, accurate, deadly if your aim was consistent. The feedback was a chef's kiss. I mean, it was perfect. The firing sound, the hit marker sound, the rechamber animation, everything about the gun was perfect. It was powerful, effective, satisfying, literally everything. The intervention absolutely deserves the #1 spot on this list, and even if you never personally used it because you didn't like Modern Warfare 2 back in the day, or because you're a newer player to the franchise and never got the chance, you can probably agree with its placement at the top of the list because of the legacy alone. Seriously, I can't think of many other video game weapons that made this much of an impact on their entire genre, but the intervention did, and rightfully so. Let me know one bolt-action sniper that was deserving that did not make the list, and I'll see you guys soon.